Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer. 3 stakes races on tap at Belmont Park on Sunday. Let's take a look at race number 4, kicking off the pick 6, 1 mile on the Widener turf. It's the $100,000 Chelsey Flower Stakes for 2-year-old fillies. You can bet this race, you can bet the card, you can bet the pick 6 with a DRF Bets account. Sign up at bets.drf.com, receive a 300% deposit match just in time for the pick 6, just in time for next week's Breeders' Cup. Here's the field for the Chelsey Flower Stakes. We're hoping this race stays on the turf, Mike, because we're expecting extensive rain Friday night into Saturday. Hopefully we're dried out by Sunday. We'll keep our fingers crossed. Let's talk about the number 6 multi-strategy. 5-2 on the morning line. Beat a couple of these horses last time out. This is your typical well-bred Chad Brown horse by Scat Daddy out of a group winning mare. Multi-strategy, though, I thought got a really nice pace set up in that most recent race. Let's talk about the 3 horses coming out of it. Multi-strategy, Lucky Lips, and Sweet Timing. One of those horses was compromised by the pace.
Yeah, that's certainly true. That would be Sweet Timing, who will enter this race as a maiden. She did not have a very good trip in that race. Not only was the pace really slow, but she just got caught in all kinds of traffic after getting bumped at the start and winding up last. She had some things really work against her. Multi-strategy, you know, I don't really have that much to say about her, Dan. She is what she is. I thought she ran probably better than it looks in her turf debut 2 starts back. But she just had everything go her own way last time with a perfect trip. And, you know, while she won, and she's certainly a big contender in this race, I'm not sure I would take a too short of a price on her in the Chelsey Flower.
I kind of agree with that assessment. She's 5-2 on the morning line. Let's talk about Lucky Lips at 7-2. She finished second behind Multi-Strategy. Kind of a weird pedigree. She's by Union Rags. Those horses can't seem to stand up on the turf, but it is all turf on the bottom. And she acquitted herself just fine, although for the most part she was up close to that pace. Did you see any trouble or excuses?
I mean, I didn't think she had any trouble in the race. I thought she actually got a very good trip, but it was nice to see her show some tactical speed to get that kind of a trip in that race. That could serve her well as she breaks from an outside post in her second start. And listen, she finished pretty gamely in there. You know, maybe if you wanted to make the excuse that, you know, in just her first start, she was behind Multi-Strategy in the stretch and then had to chase that one home. That's fine. I thought she ran okay in that race. I'm with you. I don't love the Union Rags on turf, but she's got a ton of grass on the bottom of her pedigree.
Trainer Mark Henning has a couple in here. Let's talk about the 8 Take 10. I think Take 10 is going to take some money based on her pedigree and on her career debut. She's by Uncle Mo out of a half to Tactical Cat, who won the Hollywood Futurity on dirt as a 2-year-old. Take 10 rallied in her debut behind Paquette, who came back to finish second in the graded Jessamine Stakes. So that race has come back very nicely, was on yielding ground, and she could take the necessary step forward.
Yeah, I think she can too. It's interesting because Hennig has 2 in here. They both debuted on the same card on September 15th at Belmont in different divisions. On the Town, who they paid $450,000 for, exits the faster division of those split maiden races. But I kind of like Take 10's debut a little bit better. They both sort of ran similar races first time out, way off the pace and then closing for second at the end. You know, I thought they both ran okay. I think they're both players in this race. It's interesting because there's a bunch of maidens in this race. I think all 4 of the maidens in this field actually have a real shot to win it.
You touched upon On the Town. I wonder if On the Town's going to want a little more ground down the road. She's by More Than Ready. The dams I have to Warning Zone. It was a long-winded graded stakes winner on the turf, and she showed a solid rally behind a decent Chad horse in Fierce Scarlet, who came back to run okay at Keeneland in her stakes debut. Not a great performance. We'll see what we get from On the Town, who's an intriguing maiden to be sure. Timeform US Pace Projector as the stretch-out sprinter, the 7, Shooby Dooby Doo, out there on the lead. And I thought Shooby Dooby Doo ran pretty well in her turf debut, the Salima on yielding ground. Like the Laurel Futurity on the same card, I thought it featured a fast pace, and Shooby Dooby Doo might have been aided by that pace. But she also, I thought, had to go through a tight spot in upper stretch. She had to alter back down to the rail, ease to the 2-path late. All things considered, I thought she ran well. Her dam won at 1 mile and a 16th. I'm not worried about the distance with this horse. And she doesn't necessarily, I think, need the lead to win, but if you give it to her, she's got a shot.
I agree with that. I don't think she needs the lead to win either, but I do think there's a real chance she'll be on the lead in this race because there's not a ton of pace in the race. We'll see what she does. I thought she ran fine in her turf debut. You're right in that she had to go between horses a couple different times, but ultimately, I mean, she really got a clean run through the stretch in that race. She was second best, no problem with that. She earned a 70 by her. I guess I could go either way on her, Dan. I don't know what kind of price she's going to be in here. I don't think she'll be too short, though, so if you like her, you should probably bet her.
Stormy D took to turf, no surprise considering her dam was a stakes winner on the lawn. She goes out for trainer John Service, and we have a formulator fact for Service. Over the past 5 years with last out maiden winners on turf, surprising numbers, 0 for 21. Stormy D's going to be a price in this race, so I wouldn't let the formulator fact dissuade you too much, but I also thought she got a really nice setup in winning that race at Gulfstream.
Right, and it does seem like maybe she didn't beat the greatest field in the world either. I thought she ran fine in that race. She rated very comfortably. She ran that horse down the stretch. The race came back a little bit slow. It didn't seem like a super strong field, but Service has been sending some pretty live horses to New York so far this meet.
Let's talk about our top selections for the Chelsey Flowers Stakes. You like the 3, Sweet Timing. She's 15 to 1 on the morning line. She's got that classic turf pedigree. She's by Kitten's Joy out of a winning Dynaformer mare, a mare that won on the turf. And Jimmy Toner is no dummy. He's one of the best trainers around, especially on turf. And this horse, okay, beat one horse home in the maiden. I think he realized this horse was pace compromised, has some ability. That's why she's here.
Yeah, I'll admit that I allowed myself to at least be swayed a little bit by the fact that Toner does come back in a stakes race in her second start. But I mean, all things considered, that trip was just terrible in her debut. She never really had a fair chance to run. It was kind of race, Dan, where, you know, I get the favorite multi-strategy. I guess that horse could win, but I didn't want to take that horse. And then when you got down to it, you know, which one of the maidens or more lightly raced horses did you want? I thought this horse, out of all those, had the most go against her first time out, and with Toner coming right back in the stakes, that's enough for me.
Give me numbers.
I went with the horses who really haven't done that much yet. I went with Sweet Timing on top in this race. Hennick's horse, Take 10, I think is interesting. Of his two, that's the one I preferred. Even Lucky Lips I would throw in there. We
haven't talked about Tweety Kitten. We should talk about her because she's trying turf for the first time by Kitten's Joy. The dam was a winner on turf, but she was only 1 for 20. It appears they're just taking a shot here.
It does. I mean, I guess the deal with her was that Eddie Pringle really wanted to run her on turf. He had her entered for turf first time out, got rained off. He's going to come right back in the spot. Mike's
going with Sweet Timing. Shooby-dooby-doo for me. I think she can make the lead in here. If not, it's okay. But if she does make the lead, she might be tough because I think the distance is going to be okay for her. And in that Salima last time out at Laurel, it was the first time in her career that she was in behind horses. In her debut, far outside post position, very wide all the way around the track, then basically on the lead in her second start. I liked that she got a real good learning experience last time, and she goes out for the high percentage John Service barn. 7-6-A-11 for me in the Chelsey Flower, one of 3 stakes races at Belmont on Sunday. Bet it with a DRF Bets account and the 300% deposit match that goes along with it. Bets.drf.com is where you need to go for all of the information. Approximate post time for the kickoff leg of the Sunday Pick 6 at Belmont, 2:22 Eastern. Good luck.